Hey there everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at one of AtGames' latest releases, Primal Carnage. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, as always, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out this video. If this happens to be your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. Give this one a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So as I said, today we're going to be taking a look at one of AtGames' latest releases. This is Primal Carnage Solid State. Now, this is available for both their 4K and HD lines. The 4K version is going to be about $7, whereas the HD is about $5. This is another one of their single table packs, something that they seem to be committed to doing this year as opposed to releasing packs with multiple tables in it. Again, this is another one of their single table packs. Now, before I get too far into this video, I do have to say a big shout out and thank you to AtGames and mention that they did send me this game for the purpose of review. Now, as usual with AtGames, nobody has asked me to say anything in particular about this game, nor have they asked to review this video before it gets put up. So the opinions expressed, as always, are my own. But once again, thank you so much to AtGames for giving this game to me with an opportunity to give it a review for you guys. So before I get into this new game, show you guys some of the features on it, show you some gameplay on it, I do want to give a little bit of a history lesson because some of you may be wondering why this is called Primal Carnage Solid State. Well, Solid State is the name given to a particular type of pinball machine. It's what I would consider the second generation of pinball machines, even though technically some might consider it the third, because the earliest pinball machines out there were basically just wooden boxes with a kind of like a plunger that you could ping a pinball around and it would land in different targets. No flippers, nothing like that. But that was really the earliest form of what we would consider a pinball machine. Now, the next iteration were the electromagnetic pinball machines. That was the start of these upright style pinball machines with the table with a back box. They had things like flippers, scoring, spinners, targets you could hit, things like that. But everything was controlled through electromagnetics. Now, those came in around World War II, maybe around the end of World War II, and lasted until the mid-70s. Then in the mid-70s is when we started to see the rise of these solid state pinball machines. Now, this did away with the electromagnetics and added microchips to controlling the action on the playfield. And this is where things started to get a little bit more complex with pinball machines. You had digital scoring, the ability for multiple flippers, bash toys, lights and strobes, all going off in different areas of the machine. Targets on the play field that would light up, things like that. Those are what solid state pinball machines are. Now, there's still a far cry from what we see companies like Stern doing today, but they were definitely a step up from the original electromagnetic pinball machines of the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. So for those of you who are wondering, what the heck is Primal Carnage Solid State? Well, the idea here is that this table is designed to feel like a 1980s style pinball machine. You're not going to see a lot of the really flashy toy movement and animation and things that we're used to seeing today. There is no DMD on this, just a digital scoring. So even for those of you with the 4K, one of the things you'll notice is that the only thing the DMD does is show you the score. There's nothing flashy about it. There's no animation. There's not even any, like digital animation in it at all. It's just strictly showing you the score because all of the scoring, as you can see, is handled on the back glass here. And that's what these late 70s, 80s style solid state pinball machines were like. So the idea here is that Magic Pixel is trying to mimic the look and feel of those, again, late 70s, early 80s style pinball machines. All right, so with the history lesson out of the way, let's get in. Let's take a closer look at this game, show off some of the features, show you a little gameplay. So taking a closer look at the back box, I have to say I absolutely love this thing. I love how cool it looks with that dinosaur right in the middle of it. Even though it's a little dark, I do still think the colors are cool, that the dino, the Primal Carnage logo, everything really stands out. And of course, you can see you've got your player 1, 2, 3, and 4 scores in the different corners here. Again, reminiscent of those 80s style pinball machines, the digital scoring there. No DMD, just scoring on the back box. All right, so here we are. This is a look at the playfield for Primal Carnage. As you can see, it really is meant to be kind of reminiscent of some of those old school 80s pinball machines from back in the day. You can see, yes, there are a bunch of flippers on here, but it's not too crazy. You've got your 2 main flippers down here and a really wide gap in between. There's no pin. There's nothing here to save it. There's no ball save mechanism on the machine. So once your ball drains, that's it. You have lost a ball. Now you do also have these 2 flippers on the side. And I have to say, when I first saw this table, I wasn't a big fan of these. I didn't quite understand the need for them, but having played a little bit, I kind of like them. I do think they're kind of a cool way to save your ball from draining down the side lanes. They do really work well for that. Beyond that, they don't really come into play too much, but they're a nice feature to have to kind of save your ball from falling down the sides. You've also got one last flipper here, which again is really just used to try to maybe keep things up in the bumper area up here. Speaking of that, you can see you've got 4 bumpers up here, little dinos on each of them. You've got a bunch of different target areas in here, and there is a little mechanism in front of, well, these 2 targets for sure. I don't think there's one in front of these. In these 2 targets, there is a little mechanism that kind of goes back and forth to stop you from hitting the targets. You've got to kind of get past each of these. You got the human here, you got the dino here. You can see a couple of ramps. You have this one, this wireframe ramp comes up around here. You've also got this one here with a spinner on it. And of course, again, targets, lights, everything all over the place to add to your score. Now, one of the other things you may notice is this little digital readout down here. Now, when you start the game, you can use the flippers to choose whose side you're on. Are you on the side of the humans or are you on the side of the dinos? If you're on the side of the humans, your goal is to defeat the dinosaurs by hitting the targets, by scoring and whatever, and knocking this counter down. This counter will start at 10,000. And for each target you hit, each thing that you do, you're gonna get 100 points, 200 points, 300 points. As you play, that will count down. Once it counts down to 0, you have defeated the dinosaur. Now, I do believe that once it counts down, you will then switch sides. I have not gotten to that far. This is a hard game. This is definitely a hard game. But once you switch sides, or if you pick being on the side of the dinosaurs at the beginning of the game, your goal is to kill 100 humans. This will start at 100 and count down based on your scoring. Every time you score, you're killing 1, 2, 3 humans, something like that. There are multipliers throughout. You can see a lot of those multipliers kind of flashing on here. 1, 2, 3, 100 HP, 200 HP, 300 HP, or 1, 2, 3 humans. You can see all of that throughout the play field here. Now, I do like that the playfield is very open. There isn't a lot in the middle here to distract. Your goal is to get, again, up and around these ramps to hit these targets and things like that. Being that this is a solid state game, being that this is an 80s style game, you're not going to see a lot of crazy animation popping up all over the place on here. Nothing like that. Now, one of the things that actually kind of bugs me, and you'll see this as we play, and this just kind of goes to, I guess, the way that that this is designed and whatever. You've got the ball lane on the side here. When you shoot, the ball comes up and around, and it kind of merges into this ramp here and comes around. Now, if you look, this ramp looks like it should be a solid ramp here. It looks like there's a wall here, but it's like the ball goes through that wall and into this ramp and around. Now, this has nothing to do with the way the game plays at all, but from a physics perspective, it bothers me that it feels like it merges into this ramp and comes around. I would rather have seen them do something to make this look like it was raised a little bit more and have the ball kind of go under the ramp and maybe come out up here somewhere where it looks like it. Oops. I just changed it to morning in 3 players. I'll fix that before I start to play. But I would feel better if it made it look more like, came underneath and whatever, as opposed to merging into this. You'll see as I play. Actually, turning this to morning kind of lit the screen up a little bit more to make it easier for you guys to see before I start playing. There's also a little area up in here that you can get into and capture the ball for points. Now, there is no multiplayer as far as I'm aware on this. I haven't gotten it. I didn't see in the rules where there was anything about multiplayer. I feel like multiplayer was not something that was very prevalent in solid state pinball machines anyway. That didn't happen till you got into the 90s and the next iteration of pinball machines. So I don't believe there's any multiplayer in this one. But that's enough about the game itself. I think I've shown you guys enough. I'm going to try to play a little bit on the human side and the dino side and show off how the game plays. All right, so to start the first game, I'm going to play on the human side. You can see to the 10,000 points here to try to kill the dinos. Let's see how far I get. This is a hard game. And you can see how, as it comes down, it kind of merges into that ramp there. Ugh, not a fan of that at all. It just, I don't know, something about that just bugs me. Some targets here, as you see, as I'm hitting the, I saved it. See, that's where those flippers, and it just drained. But that's where those flippers come in handy. You saw how that works. I tell you, this is such a hard game. It really is. But you can see as I'm hitting the targets, this goes down. It takes a lot to kill the dinos, I gotta tell you. Now, one other thing that I do want to mention is, this is considered a mature audience game by AtGames, kind of like the Zen mature titles. I don't know if that's necessarily because of the theme, because like the Zen Jurassic Park or Dino Dynasty, like none of those are considered mature. But I think there's maybe some strong language that goes on throughout the game. I think as I've played, I've heard some mild cursing. Nothing too bad, but I think that might be the reason why they consider this a mature audience game. And as usual, I'm trying to talk and play at the same time and doing crap, but you can see you do kind of really rack up the points if you can. Oh, see, the guy just kind of sort of cursed there. Oh, come on, pop out of there. There we go. Man, come on. If you can get it around the ramps, you can really kind of rack up the scores. And I keep missing. Oh, come on. Let's see if I can keep it up in the bumper. Nope, can't get it to stay up in the bumper area there. Oh, there we go. Coming around there. And there we go. And that's me playing on the human side, doing lousy and not killing any dinosaurs. Let's try to flip it around and play on the dino side. All right, so there we go. So now I'm on the dino side. You can see I got to kill 100 humans. Let's see how we do on this one. You can hear the shotguns going off as the humans try to fight back against the dinos. And there we go. It's one down. Killed 5 humans so far. Let's see. Nope. Missed the ramp. Oh, that'll work. Nope. There we go. Man, I tell you, this is a hard game. I'm definitely playing lousy at it, but you know, the whole point here is just to kind of give you guys an idea of how the game plays, so you can decide for yourself if this is one you want to pick up. Say, I do think it's a lot of fun, from a, you know, an old school pinball nostalgic feel. All right, definitely racking up some points by going around those ramps there. Oh, and there we go. Done, I think. Yep. So there you have it. A pretty quick look at me trying to play a little bit of Primal Carnage. Man, this is a hard game. Now, again, being that this is meant to mimic those 80s style pinball machines, it's also not a high scoring game. This is not going to be one of those ones that you see people putting up scores in the millions. And if they are, serious pinball players. This is 10s, 20s, maybe 100,000 score games, not millions and billions like you see in modern pinballs. It's a low scoring game. But personally, I do think it's a lot of fun. I like the throwback feel of it. Now, there are other Primal Carnage games set to come out throughout the year. My guess is that because they've released this one in this 80s style, solid state look and feel, that we're going to get some of the typical Magic Pixel remix, retro, and deluxe versions of this table down the road as well. So if you enjoyed this, that's something to look forward to. If you feel like this isn't your cup of tea, then maybe you won't be so excited for those, or maybe you'll be more interested in like a remix or a more modern take on this IP. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of Primal Carnage? Have you picked this up for yourself already? Or is it something you've been waiting on and hopefully this video helped you make a final decision? Well, as I said in the beginning, if you're getting this on your HD pinball machine, it's going to be $5. If you're purchasing it for your 4K pinball machine, it's going to be $7. So keep that in mind when you decide if this is something that you're going to pick up. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead, leave me a like, leave me a thumbs up, leave me those comments below. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that as well. And of course, if you want to support the channel even further, just like these guys down here, you could consider getting a membership. That's all for now. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care and happy gaming.